What up, old buddy? How are you? Being another night in County. Really?
Great family with them. Well, they're rules. They can go six.
Hey, how are you? Good. The nephews are from the hospital. Y'all know those pictures I used to take. I said,
They're not looking. You can call it.
How you doing?
Right, there's nothing on there. Well, if I don't type, it does. If I just look at that and have it doodle on it, get it off the website.
If I can find it.
That's right.
I left mine the other day when I got it home. Came in and all of a sudden, it said, "You've been signed up as microphone." Whatever, Windows, not Windows. Outlook, everything's, not Outlook, where everything's stored. And I tried to get it it's locked out, coming to sign in, but everything like I know it's supposed to.
Yeah, I don't use one.
I got a hard drive.
I know, you did not do it.
Well, it's on, went in there and I had to get the deal. I could have called her.
How you doing? I told you I was coming, you ready, you come too, did you?
Less security. Our corporate overlords have figured out that we don't own anything, we might have to rent it from.
Let's sign this paper.
That's like, yeah. I love it.
Crystal should be here.
I'm sure that all are fine friends.
Yeah, right. Good job. Jason. First day.
And then closing and
No, I was thinking twice on so when you think you're not right, you get that, yeah, then you get set in front, you get building. One lawyer. One lawyer. So you can make a good They'll come out again.
Mike, how was your day?
How about yours?
You might want to look. Probably my office.
no, I don't think so. Somebody was here and got up. I'm gonna try to other one, make sure. Turn on the AC.
Wow. Bob, there's a couple more seats up toward the front. Some of y'all want to migrate up this way. Sit there. Over there.
Yeah, but it's really, we started out, obviously, that thing that I was talking about there.
There's a few seats up toward the front right here. Y'all want it?
You're too scary.
You can have this if you want it. Just say it.
I'm trying to get there in my chair.
Good, Jack.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the Madison County Board of Commissioners Agenda Setting Work Session, May 4th, 2026 at 6 p.m. We'll now call this meeting to order. First thing I'd like to start off with is the chairman's report. I'll make it brief since we had a meeting last Monday. But today we celebrate the GAWP Appreciation Day and recognize the tremendous progress our water operations have made since Madison County assumed the direct oversight under the leadership of the Board of Commissioners. Our employees have strengthened the system's reliability, improved the service responsiveness, and evaluated the overall quality of our operations through hard work, professionalism, and pride in serving this community. To every member of our team, I say thank you for the dedication, your problem solving, and steady improvements you deliver day after day. Your commitment is moving Madison County forward, and we are grateful for all you do. Where's Stephanie Wilson? Oh, it's behind the computer. Tell your team thank you. All right. Business involving guest groups or multiple visitors. Is there any here who would like to speak?
Can we speak about the,
It's business involving guest groups or multiple visitors. Mr. Rob Fitzpatrick.
what I come to talk to y'all about is,
Hang on, Bob. Name and address for the record, just so she can write it down
that's
for a
Bob
minute.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes, sir.
2318 Friendship Church Road, in Danielsville.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
John Bruce there, I think, been talking with Terry about it. It's all the chicken houses we've got up there on Friendship Church Road. Right now, within a little more than a quarter mile of my house, there says 40, right now. 80 acres just got sold beside of me over there, and that is what the plan is for them to build more chicken houses. Just want to bring it to everybody's attention, maybe get on the agenda so everybody can come speak that wants to speak about it in the next meeting. They just try to do some kind of moratorium on it, land density test, and move the, setbacks back further just for everybody in the county. You know, right now it's 300 foot from my property line and 500 foot from my house. Overflow down there is 600 foot from the property line and 1,000 feet from my house. Just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention and make sure whatever we gotta do to get on the agenda for the next meeting. That way more people can come, the people that's concerned can come talk about it.
Is there a specific request regarding that density that you would like for our officers to look into or staff to look into? I don't know all the avenues in that.
What we gotta do to keep from having commercial farming. A lot of these are commercial farms. They're not mom and pop farms. Mom and pop farms got 2 to 4 chicken houses on it. They don't have 8, 12, and 16 chicken houses. That's not a mom and pop. You know, something needs to be looked at about that, and just up there where we're at, you know, we don't want no more right there in that community. If you get a disease right there, then right now we've got 40 chicken houses, they're gonna get that disease. They're gonna be buried in the ground. That's our groundwater and all that stuff it affects. That's what we want to bring to everybody's attention. And, I guess I'll call back next week or whatever, get on, make sure we're on the agenda, so the other people that live right around in the area can speak and give their sense for it, I guess.
All right. I appreciate the comments, the board does, and it'll be noted in the minutes of what you spoke about. If you ask about being on the agenda for the next meeting, which is the 28th?
The 18th.
18th, sorry, Monday, but it's still a Monday.
Yeah. Normally our meetings are the first and the last Monday of the month.
Right.
The last Monday of this month is a holiday, so it's moved up to May 18th.
Okay.
So any citizen on a regular business meeting, which is the last meeting of the month on a Monday, can come and approach the board and address any issues that you have. So you don't have to be assigned to be on the agenda. It'll just be towards the end of the meeting under statements or remarks from citizens.
The main thing is just, you know, land density test, so they can't just keep putting more and more and more chicken houses up there around.
All right.
Thank y'all.
Mr. Chairman, just for your rest of the commissioner's information, I have talked to Mr. Fitzpatrick and also John Bruce, who shared this concern with me. And to try to begin to answer that, I visited Christina, trying to bounce off some ideas, and did reach out to several sources. It felt like the most logical place to start was our county extension agent, so I reached out to him, told him what the concerns were, and he is in the process of assembling a report. I don't know if any of y'all remember, several years ago, Adam Spear did a similar report. In fact, it was when the farms that are now existing were being considered. That report dealt primarily with just water concerns. Anyway, addressed that very, very, very well. So anyway, I reached out to Travis, and he assured me he felt like within 30 days he'd be able to get us a report. The difficulty in this is what criteria. It's almost a shock. So when we talk about water, we talk about traffic, or we talk about noise, and any potential criteria that you may associate with poultry houses. you mentioned groundwater contamination by bird disposal, all those things. So anyway, it's gonna be tough to answer, and it's probably gonna be, we may end up finding out it's gonna be difficult to generically answer it. It may have to be very site-specific based on soil types, et cetera. Anyway, the concerns were heard, and we moved forward to try to get that report in progress. I don't remember the date when we started, but I feel it may not be by this next meeting, but by the end of May.
Thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Jimmy up 620 Highway 174, Danielsville, Georgia, Stowell Cross. And I'm concerned about these chicken houses. And you always saying water. The water is the issue. And it don't take a rocket science to figure it out. The more water you take out of the ground, it takes out from us, you know. Who's gonna take from my well when they use all the water up? Are y'all?
That's something that we will definitely discuss, and we'll get further in the weeds on this one in the next meeting, as Mr. Fitzpatrick suggested.
So we came last Thursday night, nobody was here.
Yeah, we have meetings on Monday, sorry.
But, anyway, it's just time to say enough. Enough's enough. Cause I got a list that's, like Bob said, we have chicken houses so much within a mile radius of our house. And I give you a case scenario. My mom, when they built those 16 chicken houses behind me, she had upper respiratory problem. All right, she sold the home place and went to North Carolina to live with my sister. No more respiratory illness. And one evening, I'd like to invite all of y'all up to my house, to my backyard, and we'll sit and have a cup of coffee or something. And when the smell hits, I want y'all up there to smell it. It's unbearable. And if you put more chicken houses in, that's gonna make it worse. And plus the traffic, you can tell now where it's tearing the road up. Both 174 and Friendship Church Road. I know, I'm a truck driver. I know what weight does to a road. And, you know, it's just time to say enough's enough. And Terry, I know you've got chicken houses, right? Okay, so, you know, I know money talks and the bull crap walks. And people, y'all need to be concerned about the citizens of Madison County. And I'm gonna throw this in there. Y'all charge property and school tax enough, y'all have enough left over for revenue, correct? Ain't nobody gonna answer that one.
I didn't hear you, sir.
Property and school taxes, out the roof. Poor man ain't got a chance.
You said we had enough left over for revenue.
Yeah.
I'll pick up
I'm just figuring
that's not correct.
Yeah.
And,
unfortunately, I wish that was correct, but I can only speak for the Board of Commissioners.
well, I know it's kind of hard,
But it's-
yeah. But, you know, it's just time to say, you know, enough's enough. I know this Vietnamese woman that lives over right behind me, she's fronting all this money. Commercial farming is what this is. And I don't know how y'all can't see it, but we see it. And like I say, it's time to say enough is enough.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, moving on to public hearing and actions on zoning matters. Mr. Canoa Scott.
Good evening. How you all doing?
Good, sir.
Good. All right, item number 1. Michael Waters, applicant for Legacy Baptist Church, is requesting to rezone a 2.167 acre portion of the church, 6.62 acres from A1 to R1, to allow it to be split out and sold, and rezone the remaining 4.53 acres from A1 to AR, bring the property in compliance with zoning regulations. Property is located at 1850 Elephant Springs Road, Hull, in District 1. After much discussion, the public hearing was held. No one came forward in opposition to, no one came forward in favor of. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 4-0 to recommend to the Commissioners approval.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Waters?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you'd like to add to that presentation, or are you comfortable with Mr. Scott's?
Comfortable with Mr. Scott, please.
All right, sir, we may call on you if there's any questions, okay? All right, with that being said, is there anyone here speaking in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition of this rezone request? Hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that this rezone request be approved as stated.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kurt. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Chapman?
Yes.
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 Motion carries, sir.
All right, item number 2, Jim Price is requesting to rezone his 6.975 acres from A2 to AR to allow a second home to be placed on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for a family member. The property is located at 575 McCarty Dodd Road in Cobbett, map 70, District 5. After much discussion, public hearing was open. No one came forward in favor of, and no one came forward in opposition to. The Planning and Zoning voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Price?
Yes.
Is there anything you would like to add to that, sir, or are you comfortable with that presentation?
I'm comfortable.
All right, anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to be approved.
Motion by Commissioner Dawson. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Yeah, I will say this, even though I'm gonna make a motion that I'm supportive, the lot is a unusual shape. I don't see there's grounds to deny the rezone. However, I think it's just another one of those that we need to take some serious look at some of the conditions that we have. The existing easements, again, the lot's not being divided, so we can't apply the certain number of residents to that. So, again, I like a lot of things, I think we've got work to do on a lot of stuff, and I'll make that plug to say I think we've got a really good planning director in that can have that ability and understanding and help guide us through some of these things. But that's and I did not, and typically as I always respond, I did not receive any calls from the community regarding.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner?
Yes.
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 Yes. Motion carries, Mr. Price.
Item 3, Daniel and Diane Tran are requesting to rezone their 1.81 acres from A2 to A1 to combine with their adjoining A1 property for a total of 57.5 acres for tax purposes. The property is located on 0 Drakewood Road in Danielsville, map 9, in District 2. Mr. Tran addressed the board and answered their questions. Public hearing was held. No one came forward in favor of or in opposition to. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Mr. and Mrs. Tran? Mr. and Mrs. Tran? All right. Hearing none, is there anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move this rezone request be approved as presented.
A motion by Commissioner Chandler, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kirk. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Just for clarity, the motion requires the
Yes.
combination.
Yes. Any other discussion? Commissioner Kirk?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yeah. For the record, motion carries.
Number 4, James Dockery is requesting to rezone his 13.45 acres from A1 to A2 to allow a second home to be placed on the property as an accessory dwelling unit for a family member. The property is located at 1025 Irving Kirk Road in Danielsville in District 2. Mr. Dockery addressed the board and answered questions. Public hearing was opened. No one came forward in favor of, or no one came forward in opposition to. The planning and zoning voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Doctor, you have anything to add to that, or are you comfortable with that presentation?
Good.
All right. Anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move this rezone request be approved as presented.
A motion by Commissioner Chandler, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Dalton.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
Number 5, Melanie Christian, applicant for Ernestine Carpenter, is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of her 28.17 acre from A1 to AR to allow it to be split to give her grandson and to rezone the remaining 24.17 acres from A1 to A2 to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located at 2909 Highway 191 in Danielsville, map 79, District 4. Mr. Christian addressed the board and answered the questions. Public hearing was opened. No one came forward in favor of, no one came forward in opposition to. Planning and zoning voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Christian,
Yes.
are you comfortable with that presentation? Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, sir, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the request as stated.
So, I have a motion by Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner Doster. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Adams.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries, young lady.
All right, items 6, 7, and 8 were discussed together, but after discussion, the planning commission decided that these 3 needed to be voted on separately. So therefore, item number 6, Kenneth Hong, applicant for Richard and Carrie Corey, I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, but is requesting to rezone their 34.79 acres from A2 to A1 to allow to build 4 poultry houses on the property. The property is located at 0 Cherokee Road in Como on map 103, partial 11E in District 4. Since we discussed all these together, I'll just present them all to you, and then we'll go back and we can vote them as you desire.
Thank you.
Number 7 is requesting a variance to allow to be built, one poultry house.
Did we skip 6?
He did say this.
Oh, okay, you're gonna start with 6?
No, I
We're gonna go down and just discuss them, and then we'll come back for the individual.
thought I started with 6.
No, you said 7.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just saying we started with the variance.
No, he read 6, and then he's just gonna go through and read 6,
Oh,
7, and
okay.
8,
I'm sorry.
and then we'll go back and vote on
Okay,
it
I'm sorry.
individually.
No worries, you're good.
Okay, you're all right.
Go ahead, sir.
Number 7 is requesting a variance to be allowed to be built one poultry house that cannot meet the 300-foot setback required in 2 places. On one side property line with a deficit of 97.2 and 97.4. The property is located on 0 Cherokee Road in Comer, on map 103, parcel 11, District 4. Number 8, Kenneth Hong is requesting to rezone that 28.49 acres from A2 to A1 to bring the property in compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located on 0 Cherokee Road in Comer, District 4. Okay. Public hearing was open. There was much discussion. On item 6, the planning and zoning recommended by a vote of 3 to 1 to recommend approval. Item 7, the planning and zoning voted 4 to 0 to recommend denial. Item 8, the planning and zoning voted 3 to 1 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Holmes, are you comfortable with that presentation, or is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I would like to ask about the variance.
Yes, we have that on item number 8, sir. I'm sorry, item number 7, sir. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think everybody's mind.
All right, so there may be questions on this one, so I may ask you to come up in just a minute,
Yes.
if that's okay?
Yes.
All right. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Brent Keena, 54 Barnard Lane, Dillard, Georgia, 30537. And I'm the property owner. I'd like to give you a handout here just to give you a little bit of an idea of the property, if you don't mind, if that's okay. Kind of looking at. My wife and I, we have owned this property for 24 years. We bought the property when we lived in Tequila, Georgia, and we've enjoyed this property for a very long time, and it had a lot of fun on it, but it's I've turned 70 this summer, and we now currently live 80 miles from the property, so don't have any close family members that are interested in the property, and my wife does not want to be stuck with this property to deal with if something were to happen with me, so that's why we're going to be putting it up for sale. I can't keep the property up like I like to, anymore. I've got enough up in Dillard where I live, and so that's the reason for us putting this thing on the market. Back in the early fall, I had notified some of my neighbors my intent to sell the property, and hoping maybe I didn't have to put it on the market, and maybe they had an interest in it, or either they had somebody they knew had an interest, and that never really materialized. So in November, late November, I did put the property on the market. And I was really surprised to find out that and we did market the property as a recreational property, and, was surprised to find out there was literally no interest in that at all. Some people wanted me to split 15 acres off, do something like that, but I want to sell these 2 tracts as a whole. I don't want to do that. I don't want to split it up. Did have a lot of interest from people, developers, land flippers, investors, a lot of interest in that area, but, again, nobody, with a recreational purpose for this property. I did get in November, I ended up, going with, Colton, my agent. Eventually, we ended up getting an offer from Kenneth back here on the property. It's a contingent offer, being that it will be zoned A1 from A2. Of course, there were some concerns brought up in the zoning meeting about there not being a precedent for an A1 in the area. But if you look at the maps there, my property is what's outlined in blue. And, I have an adjacent property is zoned A1. And some of the properties up the road and down the road are also zoned A1. So there is a precedent for it, for the rezoning to A1 on this. Yes. Also, there's no real guarantee, even though I have a contingency on this, that this property is going to go through. I've come this far with a rezoning process on it, and I would like to go ahead and continue with that and have the property zoned to A1. It meets all the county requirements for that. That's really all I have to say. And let's look at one more other thing, if you don't mind. But the third page back here is showing it a satellite view, and it's very, it's in one of the most remote parts of the county, this property, in the far eastern part of the county, southeastern part of the county. And as far as I know, I don't have a permanent resident except for one that's within a half mile of this property. I may be wrong on that, but as far as I know, that's kind of where it's at. But very, very remote, a lot of timber out there, and so that's all I got. I appreciate your time, and thank you.
You're Richard, right?
Yeah, I'm Richard. I go by Brent.
So I want to ask this question quickly, considering Mr. Holm is the applicant for you. Is there a reason number 8 is being requested rather than just number 6? Is it a sale binding document that second parcel has to be rezoned in order to buy the first parcel, or I'm just asking?
I'm selling both parcels.
Correct. I'm asking, is there a precedent
to sell both to the same person?
Yes, that's correct.
Right now, they're 2 separate parcels.
They are 2 separate tracts.
So one could stay one while the other is rezoned to the other, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, but I'm requesting that it go, that both tracks, since they meet the requirements for A1,
Yeah.
that's what I'm requesting.
All right.
Both tracks.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this rezone request?
Hey, y'all, my name is Colton Hemmings, and as Brent said, I'm the agent for him on the selling side of the property. So pretty much as Brent went over, there's already multiple properties on Cherokee Road that are currently zoned A1. One property specifically, Kenneth, his extended family owns. It is 1724 Cherokee Road. It is 84 acres, and it currently is being used as a poultry farm already. So from driveway to driveway is half a mile. At that property, there's 8 chicken houses. They're 60 by 660 feet. Just additionally, kind of same thing, I'll give these to y'all to look through. Immediately adjacent to the property is a neighbor. That property is zoned A1, as well as for multiple of the other properties zoned A1 as well. That's the chicken farm there. That is the adjacent lot to the west. This is 1885. And then these are 2 different parcels, about the same owner, both again. And then additionally, having the last hearing the other week, a lot of people raised concerns about the road, the usage, wear and tear. To specifically say that chicken trucks, tractor trailers, specifically in the poultry industry, is the issue of wear and tear, that's opinion, a fact. In my opinion, I think it's the log trucks that are causing the most wear and tear. On the property on Cherokee Road, there's tons of property owners who have timber easements. If I had to take a guess, I would say a log truck is probably a lot heavier than a tractor trailer hauling chicken. So I think if you just look at the county as a whole, look at the city of Comer in general, on top of Kenneth having family, already having a poultry business on that road, and again, looking at the city of Comer, there's already hundreds of poultry farms in the city, and that's not even including the whole county. So I do think overall adding another poultry business to the county, it will help with tax revenue to invest that money in schools, emergency services, roads. The list kind of goes on and on. And pretty much based on that, Cherokee Road, even now, the road usage alone is still in good shape. But I do think more concerns of the wear and tear issues I think most people have are more from people who live on that road, the daily usage and overall. So I do think in this zoning request is reasonable on top of, like I said, Kenneth Hong and his family, they're local here in the community. They already have a poultry business on that road, and they're local here in Madison County, so they are just a family mom and pop business just trying to make a living just like the rest of us. So that's it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this?
H-E-N-N.
You're the
I-N-G-S. Agent for the landowner.
Yes.
Yes, great.
Chairman, if I may make a suggestion here, just clarification, let's consider 6 and 8 together and then deal with the variance number 7 and 7.
Okay, that's no problem. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Before we get into this, to keep from being here till midnight, if some of you could please come forward and state something, and the next one come, you can say, I feel the same as the guy before me, but he left this off, that'd be great. Just do not be repetitive, or we will never get out of here. If you're against it, just raise your hand, you're against it, we got it. If you want to give me details, please give me details leading off the other person, if at all possible.
And this is a hearing on both 6 and 8.
This is a hearing on 6 and 8, not
Rezoning
7.
of both properties, and that's what the owner would like. You would like those voted up or down together, is that correct?
That's correct. That's fine. No worries. So in opposition, come forward, ma'am. Hang on, there's a lady behind you, had her hand up first. No, you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's okay, come on.
I'm the oldest resident I'm sorry, my name's Lisa Collins. I live at 3902 Cherokee Road. I had bought 31 years ago. It was a dead-end dirt road. When I had bought it, it was under promise from this county to be paved and the bridge to be put out. That had been washed out 30 years prior to that. At that time, I was the third resident. I am now the oldest resident, and several other residencies since the paper company sold that land. I can point out on the Seville's land, places that have Indian grounds. Down the creek behind, leading, there are campsites and still ramifications of this mound that they would sit at the top of. The proposed site is half a mile from the river as the crow flies. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a impact on the river, which is already going down. We're in a major drought. The neighbor, who also would like to speak, had to go 400 feet to hit water for their new well. And they want to keep surface concentration, but I'm sure she'll speak for herself. I request, please, knowing that in Franklin Springs, in Royston, where they proposed the chicken processing plant, everybody along the Broad River cried, please save the Broad River. This is one of the last free-flowing rivers in the state of Georgia. The spring, right below the proposed site, runs into the creek that runs right along all of the play area. My family grew up playing in it. My neighbors' families grew up playing it. You know that there's the problems with the runoff from the paper mill. Please, leave this area as a conservation area, preserve our river, and hear the people who live in that area, not the people who live far, far away and want to sell. I understand he's got his chicken house up the road, another half a mile from there. I walked all 4 miles around my block. I have to go past that. As far as the variance, that curve.
We're not on a variance.
Okay. Regardless, that shouldn't pass either. No chicken house should get close to that road. It's a very dangerous curve. I've had problems there too.
Next, something different, please.
I'd like to read a brief excerpt from EPA.gov.
What's your name, sir?
Brett Steinberger, Tract A.
I'm going to you spell your last name for me.
Yes, ma'am. B-R-E-T-T is my first. Steinberger is S-T-E-I-N-B-E-R-G-E-R.
Which address,
Excuse me?
where you live?
Tract A, 01 Cherokee Road. Bought that property because of the creek. Vineyard Creek is pristine. I fish out of it. There's trout. I give the water to my dogs, and I eat the fish. It's pristine. Okay, CAPO is Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation. So this is from EPA. Industrial factory farm where, according to EPA definitions, thousands of chickens are crowded into enclosed buildings for 45 plus days a year with no vegetation, no natural life. These high-density facilities maximize production by managing thousands and thousands of birds, often up to 30,000 or more broilers, in specialized automated environments, focusing on efficiency rather than traditional farming. Confinement of these chickens kept in crowded, often windowless sheds prevent natural foraging behavior. Waste management. CAPOs produce immense amounts of waste, typically stored in large piles or pits before being spread on fields. The environmental impact of these operations are recognized by the EPA as significant sources of water and air pollution, releasing ammonia, methane, hydrogen sulfide, and other gases. Public health concerns. The high-density conditions are linked to antibiotic-resistant bacteria. There's no treatment for these. You get infected, you're losing a limb, you may lose your life.
Can I ask you your
I'm always
personal
kidding.
reason for the opposition?
Vineyard Creek is the reason I bought my property. I have 11.97 acres. The appeal of the property and the reason I made an offer and purchased that property was because of Vineyard Creek and its fish and its beauty and its purity. This would directly impact my property. I'm a taxpayer, you know. And I chose Comer and Cherokee Road, and I looked at a lot of properties, sir, gentlemen, a lot of properties in other counties. And this was the property that appealed to me because of that creek. So I'm vigorously opposed to this. On a personal, on a business, I've invested time, money, energy developing the property, and I'm just 100% vigorously opposed to this.
I wasn't trying to cut you
No,
short, but I know what this board wants to hear is your personal impact on how it would affect you personally.
I've stated,
But thank you.
I've stated my case. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Anyone else opposed?
I'll try to keep it brief. I'm Mike Porter, and I own the property at 2560 Cherokee Road, which is directly across the street. I am right here in the booth. When all of us, including the seller of this property, bought all this property, the zoning was A2 and has been for years. We all have conservation easements. We all use the property as he does for recreation, although there are some of these that are residents. I have a cabin on this property, just across that street up here. We use it for recreation, for camping, for hiking, for fishing. My grandkids grew up there. I'm very sentimental about this property. And, it just does not seem fair that you could put one new zoning change right in the middle. It is completely surrounded. I don't know where the other A1 property could be, because I know these owners, we're all neighbors, and all of that is A2 as far as I'm aware. And this would be an A1 stuck in the middle of all the A2. So for me, this would be very detrimental to the value of my property, but mostly for our recreational use.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else to speak in opposition? Yes, sir. One more.
Yes.
So, I'm Greg Baumer, it's 1885 Cherokee Road. I'm bullseye in the middle of both farms. My concern is my water. If I don't have water, then I don't have anything. So, that's my concern.
Thank
All
you.
right?
Would you spell your last name?
Byler, B-Y-L-E-R.
Okay, I spelled it correctly.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
There is one more.
Yeah, that's all.
Hi, my name is Agatha Kowalski. My, address is 3160 Cherokee Road,
Would you spell your last name?
C-O-V as in Victor, A-L-S-C-H-I.
Thank you.
I'm here to respectfully oppose the proposed construction of this commercial chicken houses near my home, my future home. We are starting, my son actually is starting to build the house at that address. We bought the property a year ago. We sold part of it to Mr. Brett. We have Miss Lisa as neighbors. We have other neighbors on the same road. We are deeply concerned about the water because the creek that's behind the proposed chicken houses goes into Vineyard Creek, which goes into Broad River, which they both border my property, which definitely affects my situation. Also, I'm concerned about the odor, the air quality, just overall life. I bought the property to come live in a peaceful country, healthy, surrounded by woods, fresh water, nothing that's contaminated. Also, this will devalue the property that we bought, and building a brand new house thinking that, it's gonna retain value when the chicken farms that are being proposed are gonna be 0.4 from our property, from where we're building the new house. That's pretty close. We're gonna have chicken trucks coming on that road constantly. And as much as I respect him trying to sell the property, and I wish him good luck, I wish that he could sell it to somebody different, that it's not gonna, change everybody's way of life. There's lots of residential homes on that road. And I feel like that should be taken in consideration. I respectfully ask the board to deny this proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
He was next door to it. Let's go let him go first. I'm Bob Seville. My wife and I, Diane Seville, own 2430 Cherokee Road, which is directly across right here. This 583 acres that we have, which is in a conservation easement. And I appreciate all y'all's, we moved out to Madison County out here because of the agriculture and because of all the wonderful things the county is. This is one part of the agriculture. And so we understand that side of it. But there's these two particular, the way you have it
set up, those chicken houses are all on the first, parcel. And, then they're asking to get the second parcel zoned as well. And they've said they're putting 4 chicken houses in there, but, it's our assumption, just assumption, that they'll put 8 chicken houses once it's all zoned A1. So we would like to see one continue to be A2, or I don't know if you can limit the number of, putting conditions on the zoning. I don't know if you can do that, but if you can, limit it to 4 houses. You know, we'd like to see the buffer right now was the part that was used for the, when they logged in there, so it's all cleared out. So it would be, if you put a condition on it to plant the buffer, and I think they said they planned on doing that already in the planning meeting. Then, have the fans going out the back, that would reduce, really nobody's talked about the, odor, and if we can get them to keep those houses clean and dry, you know, there won't be any odor. But if they do it, if they don't, then you know what it smells like. So we're, the other thing, I made a few notes here as people were speaking, and we'll respect what they said. But these are, you know, he said nobody within half a mile is a permanent resident, but everybody that got up here is permanent resident. So everybody's vested in this, and they're really, they're real concerned about it, that it's going to change the way they live. And the road damage, if you look at the road, it's been damaged up to the point of where the chicken houses, the poultry houses are, right there. And if you go past that road, it's not damaged anymore. It's getting potholes, it's got a lot of cracks in it, and but y'all are familiar with what trucks do to roads and so forth, and what it costs to replace them. So that's, without being redundant, we just want to make sure this is a mom and pop thing that had a couple of houses on there. I don't think everybody would be here, but I think it's moving it more towards a commercial. And like Mr. Fitzpatrick said, we don't want the commercial side of it. So appreciate y'all, everything you do. Thank you, sir. Love you.
Mr. Seville, just for the record, I mean, the board understands the conditions that could be placed, if so choose.
They can be placed.
Yes.
My name's Logan Moore. I live at 2717 Cherokee Road. The property is directly behind it. I actually have an easement on the side of that property, which is my driveway. I'm landlocked behind my property. My wife has grown up on that property since '03. I know there's 3 springs that come off that property. I've walked this up the creek. The main concern is the water quality, our wells, the road. Like Seville said, once you get up to that curve, before you get those chicken houses, there's potholes all across that curve from those chicken trucks. Every time it rains, I have water runoff that comes across my driveway from that property. My driveway, I think I've lived there, personally, I've lived there since 2022. I've put over 110 tons of gravel on my driveway because of the runoff on that property. So, I feel like then the air quality, my family's air quality is going to come down for that, when they air those chicken houses out. It's not a good spot. I live 10 acres behind it, and our quality of life can go down when they put those there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone?
Well, you said you don't have, the only way to your property is an easement?
I have an easement on the right side of that property.
Yeah,
It's, you go back up, I'll show you.
I'm gonna give it to them where it's actually they see it.
So,
right side right there.
Second.
how long ago did you buy that?
My wife inherited in 2022. That's
She
when
inherited
right there. Yes, sir. She's lived there since '03. Yes.
Okay, so it was inherited property.
Yep.
That had an easement, was
Yes,
that
sir.
originally owned by a family member
Originally
before?
owned by Tim Matthews, my wife's father.
Okay. I was just trying to understand how that came about.
The second from, actually number 8.
Yeah.
The applicant and owner will get a chance to rebuttal after all
Yes,
the
sir.
opposition spoken.
Anyone else here to speak in opposition to this one? All right, hearing none. If the applicant or the applicant of the owner, either one of you would like a rebuttal to try to answer any of those questions, now is the time. Yes, sir. Come on,
Great, y'all need to come up here.
please, because that way it's recorded so we can hear it. We can review it if need be.
I just want to verify that Vineyard Creek is not on my property, and, it's really not that close, so, probably about a mile away.
That's in the back of this property.
Exactly, it does not run on my property. So, anyway, and I'm not aware about the runoff.
Yes, I've lived there since
Is
2020.
it coming off my property?
It's every time, yeah, your property
All
like
right,
this.
so listen, this is, I know, not to be rude at all, but you have to address us, and you have to talk about that.
Well, anyway, I'm not aware of any runoff whatsoever coming off.
You have to work that out.
And that's the only two things I want to.
All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it. All right,
I'd like to say one thing.
for opposition,
No,
oh,
no,
just,
rebuttal. I'm the agent of the purchaser. And
okay, so we're two different agents.
yes,
Agent
he
seller, agent
represents the
purchaser.
seller, I represent the buyer.
Okay,
So the water issue runoff, that would be one of the things that would be resolved. My name's Gar Schattler, DARSCHATTLER.
Thank you.
There'll be a retention pond.
Sure.
And to rebut another comment, these are not gonna be broiler houses. So that takes your chicken house owner, it changes things. It changes the smells, it changes a lot of things. Other than that, I think that's pretty much, the only other thing I'd say is you can get 4 chicken houses or, 25 houses with septic tanks. We're all pretty aware of how far a septic tank has to be from a well. That's why the offsets from the creeks and the rivers are, is such for poultry houses. It does not take a lot of land to clean water.
So these are gonna be pullet houses?
They're egg houses.
Egg houses?
Yes.
Heavy breeder houses?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And without question, it's commercial. It's a family-owned, but it's commercial farming. That's,
but
nobody's denying that.
it's your intent that there would be no more than 4?
That is the plan, yes, no more than 4. I don't think they have any plan for anything else. That's all we've discussed, that's all we have a site plan for, grading plan, all that stuff.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That part's over now, Bo.
Can't ask one question?
No, sir. I'm sorry, that's the way it works. You get to speak in opposition, and they get a chance for rebuttal. Now, y'all can do it in the hallway, I promise. All right, if neither owner or representative of the owners has anything else to say as a rebuttal, we will close the floor, bring it before the board, and gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion on item number 6 and 8.
Okay, so there's a lot to consider here, and I guess, I was looking at them, we were taking them separate, but I guess my initial is that the area is, probably a place that, is, well, let me just make the motion. I make a motion to approve the conversion to A1. I guess that would be for both properties.
Yes, sir.
With a condition that there are only 4 poultry houses constructed. Also, all the exhaust has to be moved, internally on that property, talking about like through the back or wherever, so that it's not the least amount of exhaust goes onto other properties. And is that a buffer zone on there?
There are requirements.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we do.
and it meets all the other requirements that are there. All right,
That's your motion?
that's my motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kirk on item number 6. Do I have a second?
6 and 8.
6 and 8.
6 and 8, I'm sorry. 6 and 8.
Second motion with conditions.
Have a second on the motion with those same conditions. Any discussion, gentlemen?
I wanted clarity for myself.
the conditional statement is applied collectively to both tracts. So effectively,
Combined four.
you can have 2 on one, 2 on the other, you combine it and make it 4, you can, whatever it works out to be.
Up to 4.
Up to 4.
Yeah. But we're, and this is a Mike question, I guess, but right now, we're not talking about, we're not discussing what he's gonna do with the property right now. All we're talking about is whether to change it from A2 to A1.
Right, but this is the motion you'd have to have use conditions attached to.
So that would come under the variance, that would.
Well, the variance is just for the distance.
Distance from.
Yes, setback distances. So this is the overall use. So, I think the motion is a total of 4 houses across both properties. And this would be the appropriate motion to attach.
They can have up to
4 poultry.
Up to 4.
Yeah. Okay.
On the combination
On
of
the
6
combined acreage, exactly.
And just for the benefit of the applicants and anyone else who might have a question, assuming this passes, nothing is 100% set in stone, but if the applicant at some point in time wished to change that, wished to add 2, so he wanted to go add to a 5th one or a 6th or whatever, then the process would be essentially repeated. So the public would have the opportunity for input, et cetera, but instead of being a rezone, it would be that the applicant would be requesting to alter the condition. It was a pro-store property. So any additional change would go through the same process.
Can I ask a question?
Sir? Yes, sir.
By whose opinion did we decide where the exhaust goes from the chicken house? I mean, that's awful vague. I mean, and I know that we can't dictate the direction those chicken houses are built. That's, the integrator's gonna tell us how they go. Or the wind. Or the wind. I mean, that's a very vague statement that, I mean, who's gonna enforce that? I don't understand that. I understand it, and I get it, but
It'd actually be fairly easy, and essentially, the design of poultry farms, if it's possible to do so within the context of the department that's presented, poultry houses will be oriented east-west. That's just the way it needs to happen.
Right.
So the exhaust fan, all the poultry houses are going to be tunnel ventilated, so exhaust fans are going to be on one end or the other.
Correct.
So the statement is we want those exhaust fans pointed to the interior of the property as opposed to being on the end that's pointed, get as closest to and pointing out from the property.
Okay, thank you for that.
And we'll write that.
Good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Any other discussion, Jim?
Yes,
Okay.
and this is for the applicant. Is it safe to assume that your primary residence will be on this property?
Yes, sir.
Not a rental or
No.
farm employee?
This is
Your
family,
residence.
this is a family home, so it would be my, residence.
Hearing no other discussion? I think it was on you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
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 Now, I got a question, because item number 7, now that you've heard the condition is up to 4 on 6 and 8, is item 7 even relevant at this point?
It is, because of the terrain of the property for the planned site. There's a huge difference in cost in the grading by moving. That's the sole purpose of that variance request.
Well,
Is
cost and
cost-effective.
grading is really not the reason you ask for a variance. The variance
Well,
is.
I think he's saying he wants to have the hearing on the variance.
Okay,
so we'll do it.
got it. All right, no worries. All right. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this? You may want to come up and give us that description, whoever, either the seller or the buyer.
The description of the variance?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can do that. So it's just simply the grade. The way that the property sits, there's a large ravine, I guess would be to the east. And so that variance catches that one part of the one house right there. If we have to move past there, there's a huge difference in the grading bill, huge. We don't even know the exact number yet. Can't really get the grader to give us an exact number. So I wish I could explain that further to you, but that's what I do know. So that's the reason for that request. It's just simply that, no other thing other than that. And of course, we're not requesting anything, any kind of a variance to any of the creeks or anything like that. We would never.
Sure. You want us to proceed tonight, or would you rather get the numbers so you know that you're gonna need this?
Let me make a suggestion.
We need it. I mean, it's cost effective.
Okay.
We need it.
Let me make a suggestion, and please don't think I'm doubting your word, that's not the case.
That's okay.
But, in the absence of information, P and Z didn't have access to this too, and for Christine and Todd, I actually requested Trace, I said, please get us some topo maps or something, so we can, if there is, some hardship, and this is where it gets to be a little bit subjective, so we talk about $5,000, we talk about $7,000, we talk about $50,000 difference. But in the absence of more information, we can't do you justice, and it's, in my mind at least, whenever we're dealing with a variance like that, it's on you to show us the hardship.
Yeah.
And be kind of difficult for us, because
It's not up to the
I say it's
BOC
gonna cost a good bit
or the
more.
citizens.
I get that.
I get that. So what I can speak to is my own experience. I was a contractor for 20 years. And in my own experience, my best estimate would be $75,000 plus, probably closer to $100,000 to $120,000.
So excuse me, but how, looking at this, because I work in construction also.
Okay. I'm not seeing that. Let me look at that.
Well, this is what we're talking about, it would seem.
I didn't have a CDS spreadsheet. So right in here is where that ravine runs.
Where?
Right near the division of the two properties. Pretty close, right?
Ms. Pruitt, okay.
And it's deep.
Is the time for return request the same on the variances would be on rezoning? So if the variance is denied, go about 6 months to come back?
Let's see. There's, yes, that's 11/15, 6 months.
Well, unless he
Here's where I'm going to go with this. If we proceed here, again, pretty sketchy, again, not doubting your word.
Sure.
But where we are now, if we grant you, if we say no on the variance, then you 6 months where you can come back and add, we ask for it. If you say, I hear what you're saying, and you need more information, then we can say you can come back at the next meeting.
You can withdraw the request on item number 7.
We can postpone it to see.
Produce those topos and then come back without waiting 6 months.
Or we could postpone it like.
You want to pull the request for the variance
Postpone.
and come back in 6 months?
That's the intent on the integrator, they'll approve at that time.
So therein lies our next issue too. And I hadn't even thought about that, but the integrator also, so they want the chicken houses there to be cost effective because the integrator wants you to be successful. They don't want you to put more money into a farm than the farm's gonna return and then you fail.
Yeah.
So therein lies the next thing. The integrator's like, I don't know about that because you're gonna have to put more money into it. So it really is kind of something we just need now.
Well, I caution that.
Sure.
Because if it gets denied, you have nothing.
Well, we have the
Now you
zoning.
have 3 houses.
Well.
Mr. Chandler, Commissioner Chandler's asked is to give you an opportunity to try to turn it around to where it can be approved versus a potential denial and you end up 3 houses permanently. So I hear the integrator telling you this, but this ain't about the integrator.
Well, it is rough.
It is for you,
Yeah.
but he's giving you an opportunity to try to help you.
But the board is saying they can postpone it to June 1st for you to gather that information to present to them.
So I need to.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, we tried to inquire and be civil and neighborly about it.
Okay.
Either we need to move on or.
Yeah, What do you think?
June first or not?
Thanks, Commissioner. You wanna come back and work on the variance, or do you want them to vote on it tonight? We can gather more information on topo map and kind of show the reasoning behind it. I mean, honestly, the biggest reason is the integrator. If your integrator doesn't go for it, they don't go for it. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. It'll absolutely kill our transaction.
I just need to know what you want the information, I'd be looking for topo maps, grading costs, comparing one option versus the other. And if integrator says here's a have to, then I can hear from them. That's kind of information I would need to feel like if there's a.
I understand.
Good job.
We need to close on the long way and everything, so we cannot wait that long. All one off our green tree.
I guess we need to have an answer. I appreciate you, I really do, I understand.
All right. No more comments? Anyone here to speak in favor of this variance request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this variance request?
Going off of, Lisa Collins, 3192 Cherokee Road. Going off of previous requests, I request that you say no to the variance because it would end up putting those houses too much close into the curb. Originally at the zoning meeting, Mr. Seville asked that there be put in a buffer zone of cover up from those poultry houses. And as being if you go ahead with yes, it would block the view of the curb right there between Mr. Seville's and the driveway right in the curb. It blocked the view. I know as a fact that is a dangerous curve. Prior to finally, after 3 times of this commission saying we were going to be paved and fighting over it 3 different times over a 10-year period before it finally happened. That road is too thin, and that curve, putting buffers in, would make it a dangerous curve again for all communities that live just beyond that curve.
It's already dangerous.
Please, yes, thank you.
All right.
Please, again, deny this for the people who have lived there for so long. Please.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else in opposition? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Agatha Kowalski again. And I just would like to say that because this variance should be denied because it does not meet the requirements. It impacts the water, it impacts me, who I'm going to live 0.4 miles away from this. And because it does not meet the requirements of the 300 feet setback, I believe we should deny.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Brett Steinberger, track A01 Cherokee Road again. I have a question. If you were sitting on your porch having dinner and the wind brought that smell into your nose, or through your bedroom with a screen, and you going to bed, and you know what chicken manure smells like, would you gentlemen want that in your neighborhood?
30 years I did it.
Well, you're a better man than I am, sir.
Well, there we
Not
go.
everybody wants that.
All right. Anyone else?
I'll be as brief as a lawyer could be. We drafted a 30-page document, single space, and finally called a brief, so y'all hang on. No, I mean, obviously, anytime you have Mark Wiggins, 1850 Brush Creek Road and 2440 Cherokee Road. Anytime you have issues like this, there are concerns with water management, there's concern with byproduct management, there's concerns with emissions and air quality. We've heard all those tonight. I speak in opposition to the variance request for several reasons. One simply is that this county, and I well appreciate the value of agriculture. I mean, I graduated from University of Georgia with a degree in agriculture. Grew up down the neighbors with Adam Swan, as a matter of fact, and made my way through college scouting peanuts, soybeans, and cotton down Southwest Georgia in gnat-infested fields. before going to Idaho, working on potatoes and row crops in Mount Airy County, Oregon. But all that being said, and I recognize also the county comprehensive plan and the value of agriculture throughout this county and in the state. I mean, I think we grow 1.3 billion chickens in this state every year. So I recognize the value of all that. But this county is one of the top poultry producing counties in the state. And along those lines, rules have been passed concerning set-offs and variance. And when a variance comes along and requests a change from 300 feet all the way down to 200 feet, I think we need to slow down and be very careful with that. I think there are issues that are reasons for a 300-foot set-off. So for that reason alone, I said I'd be brief, and actually I'm going to be. I just ask that you deny the request for the variance. If their intentions, and they state their intentions are not to build any additional chicken houses on the second track, part 8 here, but if I understand the conditions that have been placed as of this point in time, they would have the ability to build additional chicken houses on the adjacent property, but no more than 4. Is that
A total of 4. Yeah.
Total of 4 total? Right.
Total of 4.
That's right. So if they didn't have that set off, and if the lay of the land just doesn't lend itself because of the cost and so forth, and that's just the lay of the land. That's a riparian valley, goes down to, obviously, to a creek, and that water goes somewhere. So I would ask that you deny the variance request.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else here in opposition? Yes, sir.
Well, I gotta say, that's the shortest one I've heard from Mark yet. Well, I want to drive home the point that we talked at the planning board about, and that is that we do, I believe, I might be wrong, the variances are to protect the neighbors, so the houses aren't right up against the neighbors, and, you know, they have a little space in there, and they're asking for a reduction in the variance so they can reduce their cost of doing business. And so they can save, I think he said $75,000. And I don't think that's what the variances are in place for. I don't think we put them in place to save the developer money. So I think that's important. And then the second thing is when these houses go in, you know, you talk about saving $75,000, but we've talked about inverse condemnation in the past, and which means that's the reduction in your property value. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, I'm not too good at this law stuff.
I will give legal advice to my client.
Thank you. But I think that would be a reduction in our property values, probably more than $75,000. So those are my 2 points, and I'd ask you to deny it as well.
Thank you, sir. If there's no other opposition, I will close the floor. I thought I did, I'm sorry. I thought I did. There was no, in rebuttal. Do you have a rebuttal if you would like to answer any of those questions? I started off with a All right, no rebuttal, so now we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion on the variance request. Item number 7.
I make a motion that we deny the variance request.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kirk. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Doster. Any discussion, gentlemen?
I'd just like to say that this variance request, this is a new bill. It has opposition from folks that live directly or have property directly across from it. And it's not, you know, I believe that area would be fine for building chicken houses, but they need to meet the requirements, the way I look at it. And because that property doesn't meet the requirements, it's not the Board of Commissioners or the citizens of Madison County to make sure that the property that you're buying meets the requirements. And if you have a problem, it's not our problem. It's not our issue to solve it for you, especially when we've made these requirements and these for the good of the folks. So there we go.
Any other discussion, gentlemen?
Certainly, my opposition to just the amount of variance that's being requested is just a little farther than, what I think would be a tolerable, or intolerance, I should say, to something I think would be appropriate.
My hope for the applicant is when you look at two parcels combined, that the picture's gonna change, and hopefully that would not be an issue, and be a good opportunity to get the four in there to fit without encroaching on the property line. And I was hoping we'd get some more information to maybe help you forward and understand the decision, so we'll just have to move on.
If there's no other discussion, go on, Commissioner May.
The motion is to deny.
Yes.
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 No. Yes. Motion carried 4-1 to deny. All right, item number 9. And I'll listen Good to see you. Take care of yourself. How are you?
Was y'all's company involved in that?
No.
I didn't think so.
That was a really good idea to give them an opportunity to come back. And I also agree with Commissioner Johnson, for the board, we exalted that.
Well,
good job.
You can only give somebody a chance.
Ready?
Yes, sir, item number 9.
Number 9, Jake Roberts is requesting variance to allow a storage building to remain closer to the rear property line that does not meet the requirements, 20-foot setback with an approximate deficit amount of 14 feet. The property is located at 4986 Highway 29 North in Danielsville, District 4. I thought it was. Mr. Patrick, read the application, discussed the details of the request. As I understand it, this building was built prior to knowing what the requirements was the setbacks that was already erected, and he's coming now to request this variance. There was adjacent property owner Lawrence Yates spoke in favor of the request. No one came forward to speak in opposition to the request. The Planning and Zoning voted 4-0 to approve this request.
No, we can't close the door.
All right, Mr. Roberts, anything you'd like to add to that, sir?
Not really, he said pretty much all.
All right, done a good job, all right, good enough. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request?
I am going to speak in favor.
Me and Stephanie, we've known this kid since he was little. He did FFA with our son, and Landon helped him back then, and, I think it's pretty cool that he's come out here and bought a house, and come over here from Jackson County and be a part of our community, and it looks like he just made a mistake, but, really good kid. We need more of them out here like that.
Did you give him a card?
No.
It wouldn't be your fault he had your card, right? Just referencing that. All right, anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? I'm sorry, this variance request. Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the request.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner Chandler. Is there any discussion on this?
Do you know, do we have any response from the neighbor?
Is that you, sir?
Yes,
Any response?
I have no problem. My name's Lawrence Chase. 136 Mason Mill Drive. The piece of property.
I can't read, I'm sorry.
The piece of property that butts back up to Jake's property. My wife and I bought about 20 years ago, which is, we live on the adjacent property to that one. That property we bought just so we'd be out in the middle of the woods. So what's going on with him back there doesn't bother us, doesn't get in our way.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. You can always hold his over his head, make him cut your grass. Is there anyone else here to speak? Is there anyone else here to speak in opposition? Hearing none, gentlemen, I'll close the floor, bring it back before the we already got a first and a second. Any other discussion?
Just a question, what led to the error? Do I know where the property line was, or just?
There was already an old building there.
Okay.
And come to find out, it was probably about 6 foot over the property line, if not. I mean, it says 5 on there, but when I got resurveyed, yeah, I think it was more than that. Because I came a pretty good way forward, and it still wasn't nowhere near. But that's it, that's all I read.
So the next one, you just keep scooching it in.
Yeah.
If you add on to it, do it from the front.
Yeah. Ain't no room now.
I know a good surveyor. All right. Commissioner Kirk, it's on you, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't do it again.
I won't. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, item number 10, Gary Harvard, applicant for Ralph A. Jr. is requesting a variance to be allowed to build a poultry house on an existing grading pad that cannot meet 300-foot setback requirements from the property line in 5 places with the following deficit amounts: 18.6, 121.1, 134.3, 146.4, and 195.3. The property is located at 2190 Shallow Fort Lamar Road on map 35. This says District 4, I believe it's District 2.
It's District 2.
I believe it's District 2. Mr. Harvard addressed the board and asked some questions. We had opened the public hearing, and in favor of this various request, Mr. Ralph McKay Jr. spoke. James McKay and Ralph McKay III spoke in favor of this request. No one spoke in opposition to this rezone request. I have a letter from Mr. James McKay saying that he had no problem with it. Had a verbal commitment from another property owner said it was okay for that to be. Just for this board's information, the planning and zoning voted. There was one person who abstained, Mr. Mitchell abstained, and they voted 3-0 to deny. One of the main reasons for denial was the board felt like that we needed to be consistent with what we do as we look at these different variables. So, bottom line, the planning and zoning voted 3-0 for denial.
Thank you, sir. Gary Harmon or Mr. McKay, either one.
I always love being the underdog, gentlemen. I thought about a lot tonight, how I wanted to address the board on this issue. Variance is pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. But the trend we're seeing is not really self-explanatory, so I want to touch base on that a little bit because we have a few other cases that are similar to this. And I know of a few other cases that are going to be coming in here in the coming months that have similar situations like this. These are not new operations, the cases you're going to hear tonight or the requests that we put before you, but You're seeing a pattern of neighbors, young families, and agriculture producers trying to continue working land that has defined this county for generations. That's not coincidence, but these folks out here are the future of ag in Madison County, and they're standing right here. And they're trying to keep existing operations open. Factually, Madison County ranks number 5 in the state of Georgia in farm gate value, roughly $445 million annually. One of the main reasons my wife and I actually relocated to this county. We're number 1 in hay production in the state, and that's supported by poultry litter. It's often labeled as a nuisance by many of our neighbors, but it's vital to our success and our bottom line as farmers. We produce over 460 million servings of chicken and 175 million eggs for the year. We rank number 3 in broiler production statewide. Currently, we have 707 farms covering 42% of our county's landscape, and we rank number 1 in Georgia for beef cattle finished outside the county, which I am very proud of. So with an industry of that scale, why aren't we rolling out the red carpet on these existing operations? If this were any other $445 million industry, we'd be asking how to support it, how to grow it, and how to keep it here. And agriculture deserves that same approach. And I'd like to make one important distinction when we talk about variance requests and hardships. Not all hardships are created equal. A variance request from a national publicly traded builder is often reduced cost, maximizing return. A variance request from an owner-operator of an existing agricultural business or facility is about whether that operation can function, remain viable, and continue to contribute to this county's economy. Those are fundamentally different situations when we look at those hardships, and I would ask that they be considered differently. In agriculture, these requests are rarely about convenience, but about sustainability of the operation. The reality is we're at a crossroads in this county. We either remain a farming county or we slowly sell out over time. And once farmland is gone, we're not getting it back. Agriculture has always served as the most responsible use of land, keeping it productive, taxed, and maintained as our county evolves. Instead of shrinking that footprint, why aren't we talking about growing it from 42% to 50% over the next 10 years in this county? But to do that, we've got to adapt. I would encourage this board tonight to retool how you look at agriculture, whether it's zoning setbacks, land use classifications, or even forming a committee to study how we can be more agricultural friendly moving forward. Not just reacting to cases like tonight, but planning for the future of this industry in our county, because tonight is bigger than one request. It's an opportunity to make a statement that Madison County is not just historically strong in agriculture, but that we intend to lead with going forward. Let's be the county that people want to farm in. Let's be the county that supports its number 1 industry. And let's make it clear we are open for ag business. I am not a fan of 16-house farms. I'm not a fan of 8-house farms. Those are commercial and industrial developments. I think what we're going to see tonight is we're going to see a lot of family operations that are, in Mr. McKay's case, 20 years away from getting Centennial Farm Award from the Georgia Department of Agriculture, which would be pretty cool, in my opinion, for this county. Any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
No, not at this moment.
All right, thank y'all.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this rezone request?
Todd Gurley, 699 Avenue Buck Road, Fort Georgia.
You've changed since playing the football.
Yeah, couple hair. I'm in favor for this. You can see on the map, I mean, there's an existing house there that's still gonna require some money to fix up, but I'm sure that house does not fit in the variance either, as close as it is. He can build this house and, like I said, keep the family farm going for hopefully generations. So I'm in favor of it.
So while you're there, you are the potential integrator that's going to be
Yes,
involved.
I'm the breeder manager for Harrison Poultry.
So why did you, and Officer Ralph's got a pretty big hole in the property here, why in your mind is this best here where that pad currently is?
One reason.
From your perspective, from the company's perspective, what difference does this make?
There's an existing pad there. It's more convenient for us when the houses are side by side. Any other place on that property is going to take extensive grading, tear down old structures. The cost to get rid of that, you can't just dig a hole and bury it. You got to dispose of it properly. So you have that cost involved. Then you have to regrade another pad. Well, this is the pad's already there. They're side by side. It just works out for the integrator.
Anyone else speaking? Yes, sir, come forward.
James McKay. I'm the adjoining property owner, the offended property owner. I'm 100% in favor of the project, and since variances seem to be the talk of right now, most of these variances, Gary can tell you exactly how many, but most of them are on me, so I'm okay with that. It's a perfect location for another chicken house. I mean, it's directly, as you've already heard, right beside the existing house. It's in a sparsely populated area. I'd say 99% of the people wouldn't know where Fort Lamar community was that lived in Madison County. So the project is good for the county, and I think that was the one thing I heard the Planning and Zoning Commission is that the decision is based on what's best for the county. It'll add thousands of dollars every year to the tax base. We're already in a heavy agricultural area. North of Highway 98 was somewhat designated as the area that agriculture could flourish, just like south of 98 seems like houses springing up everywhere. And as Gary's already mentioned, agriculture is it's the number one industry in our county. We're number 5 in total agricultural output compared to all the other 159 counties. Besides the tax money, it's just the fact that this is going to generate a great deal of money, hopefully to help support my nephew and his family as they operate this farm. So it's a win-win for everyone, and it's already, there's going to be a chicken house beside it regardless. And but as the company man mentioned, they'd like to have 2 houses side by side. Any questions?
These setbacks, Gary, that's on here, I mean, it looks like they're all coming from all different directions. I mean, 18, 121, 134, 146. They don't really have anything to do with the house beside it, does it?
No, so that's just the measurements of the new house. So the existing house is actually in non-conformance as well. I will add that Mr. Trey McKay went and met personally with Mr. Michael Burns, which is the neighbor in question that we've got a verbal approval from. I want to say he met with him Thursday of last week, and Mr. Burns also confirmed again, although he would not write a letter, he would not oppose the project and would not interfere with the project.
And am I right that he's only one of the variances and the rest of them are me?
Correct, yeah, the other variances would be against the right-of-way, so if the 80-foot right-of-way corridor, Shiloh, Fort Lamar Road there would actually benefit us there for that right-of-way corridor. And the gentleman's house is actually directly across the street. He is the furthest house. He is actually about right at a half mile away from us on that residence over there, so.
Can't get more sparsely populated than that area.
Yeah, I think the nearest residence that we have is not the owner's residence, is within a quarter mile, so it's out kind of in the boonies, yes, sir.
Anyone else here to speak in favor of this? Yes.
And my name is Ralph McKay, 2190 Shiloh, Fort Lamar Road, Phil, Georgia, 30633. I've operated this farm since 1976, farming only. Before that, I taught school for a short period of time. My family's owned this farm since 1946, and like Gary said, in 20 years, it'll be a centennial farm. There've been poultry houses on this farm since 1976. The renovations we're talking about, building a new house and then renovating the old house, we're talking about $750,000 worth of investment. My son intends to move out there within the next year. He's going to build a house, so that's another $300,000 to whatever. So we're talking about $1 million investment. I don't know whether y'all have any questions about the variances. Part of the deal is when we built the first house, That was in 1999. And Mr. Joel Bacon worked for the planning and zoning at the time. And he came out there when we got ready to, before we started building, and ran a little wheel that you roll that counts the feet, and said we were in compliance. At that time, 200 feet was the setback. And if you look at some of the variances now, instead of 124 feet, it'd be 24 feet if you're using the setbacks that were in place. I remember when they changed them, when they did the new plan, land use plan, that changed to 300. Other than that, we just feel like, this is a good investment. The pad is already there. We've already spent $10,000 back when we graded that one. And, so all we need to do is shape this pad up. Well's there, the road's there. I think people don't realize how much it costs to put a road in and keep it maintained. Truckload of gravel after truckload of gravel. And I know when I first started in 1976, we bought 10 loads of gravel, and that disappeared in about the first 6 months. So I've been buying gravel ever since. So, and I noticed one other mistake that I heard a while ago, and that's Gary said the road right away is 80 feet, is 60 feet.
Gotcha.
I mean the highway down there by the.
Oh, that one.
That one, yeah. That's
He does. And you taught me in school, Ralph.
Yes, I did.
You know what? You're a great farmer.
Thank you.
We're getting awards now? I had to put that in there.
And one of your classmates was his mother.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You said he was a great farmer too.
Let me just say though, I had a great time in your class.
Yeah, I hope all of them did. That was a great class.
All right, I'm gonna go home before midnight. Thank you. That was good, Ronnie. I gotta give you that.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Trey McKay, or Ralph III, currently live at 131 Kevin Way in Hull. Gary, Mr. Todd, my dad, they mentioned everything. I mean, my plan is to raise my family on this farm, and the only way I can really see myself doing is to build another chicken house. And I've already talked with banks, and I got everything ready to go. And this is the first stage, and then build a house very soon hereafter. And this is where I want to raise my family, my wife, and 3 kids. So thank y'all for listening to us tonight. I appreciate it.
Is anyone here to speak in opposition to this? Hearing none. We'll close the floor, bring it back before the board, gentlemen, on entertaining motion on item number 10.
Chairman, I'll make the motion this variance request be approved as presented. I'll be glad to state my reasons we'll get into discussion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner Kirk. Discussion, John.
And also, I appreciate you and the planning commission's efforts, and I always dislike it whenever I make a motion that contradicts what y'all do. A couple things I see here. One, existing operation, I did not request specific topography information or grading information, because I'm a good bit aware of the driveway costs and the cost of just a pad in general. So I get the hardship that is there, and understand that Mr. Gurley's statement from a integrator standpoint. We want to go in there with one truck and then just come back out one time, as opposed to making multiple trips. So and just because of my familiarity with the situation, I personally see and perceive a considerable financial turnaround compared to putting the poultry house on the existing pad versus somewhere else on the farm. the statement that Ralph made about this pad being graded, and I realize that's probably not a consideration, but it being graded back when our setbacks were less. So a little bit probably concerned, or not concerned, but a little bit of allowance there on my part. But when I look at the other potentially offended property owner other than James, we're not talking about any increase in the setback violation any more than the existing house that is currently there. So we're not creating any new or more onerous setback deficit than what is existing with the existing house. So that's what I see different than what we stated in the previous request.
Yeah, and I want to make clear that I second it. I see these two situations different, you know, and I think that Terry had talked about earlier that some of these are going to be on case-by-case basis because, you know, there's a lot of circumstances. But we always got to remember, Madison County is an agricultural county. I mean, if you look right now, we're third in poultry production in Madison County. And all those people in District 4, which I represent, a lot of them are poultry farmers, you know. And, you know, I don't want to create situations where we set precedents for new people that come in and just, you know, and be able to just do whatever they want to do. But where we've got existing places and folks that are trying to make a living and it's carrying, their families are carrying on and all that, we do need to make some allowances, I think. Amen.
Any others? Sorry, go ahead.
Let's be clear about one thing. In the previous application, the only thing we denied was the variance. If he still wants to build 4 chicken houses, he can build, well, for that matter, he can build 4, he can build 6.
No.
Well, no, excuse me, we limited him to 4. He could still build his 4 chicken houses without coming to see us again.
Yeah, correct.
He just can't encroach on the setback.
But we did deny the variance, and I think for a good reason.
So,
No other discussion? It's on you, Mr. Kirk.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carries. Item number 11, sir.
3-2. Oh, 3-2, I'm sorry.
Item number 11.
Okay, I didn't hear it. I apologize. I'm sorry, go ahead. Item number 11.
Item number 11. Jeff Hendricks is requesting to rezone his 47.3 acres from A1 to A2 to allow the property to split into 3 15.76 acre tracts to give 2 of his children and to retain the other tract for himself. The property is located at 1216 Salem Road in Hull, District 1. Mr. Hendricks addressed the board and answered the questions. Open the public hearing. No one came forward in favor of. No one came forward to deny. The planning and zoning voted 4-0 to recommend to the board for approval.
Thank you, sir. I don't see Mr. Hendricks in attendance, so is anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the poll, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion this request be approved as stated. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Chandler. Discussion time. I know for a fact that this rezone is for his oldest son, Kobe, who just graduated college and moved home. And the other one is at Texas A&M right now, that has about 2 years. And Jeff sat down with me and described what his plan was here to create this family situation. So
We have direct road access on each tract, each parcel.
yes, sir. Let me double check that. Yes, sir. All right. Any other discussion? Commissioner Dahlstrom?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 12.
Item number 12, Brian Martin is requesting a variance to be allowed to build one poultry house that cannot meet the 300-foot setback requirements in two places. On one side of property line with a depth of 122 feet and 134 feet. The property is located at 4787 Highway 98 East in Comer in District 2. Mr. Patrick addressed the board and answered the questions. There was, Mr. Gabriel Harvey spoke in favor of the FOIA request. No one came in opposition to. The board voted 4-0 to approve this request. But the difference between this request and the others was that this was a replacement house.
You're on roll one. You're on roll one. You're on 13. 12.
I'm sorry.
Should be 12.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. There was a motion made to deny the variance request for this poultry house that cannot meet the 300 feet setback requirements in two places. On one side of the property line with depths of 122 and 134 feet. The vote was 4-0 to deny. I apologize.
Thank you,
I
sir.
don't think Mr. Harvey is representing this one.
No, it's not. I'm sorry, I was the wrong one.
That's all right.
Just want to make sure.
Mr. Martin, is there anything you'd like to add to that presentation, or are you comfortable with it?
Yeah, so this is a current, in production farm. It was a broiler farm, and I'm switching over to pullets. And, so on January, we started the construction on the retro on the existing 4. And this is the only place that would, that the poultry house can pretty much go with the, generator room in between houses 2 and 3, and, talked with Earl's Electric. And they checked the load from, Georgia Power and the generator, and we can actually bore underneath the existing 2 houses and, to tie in the 5th house to everything. The setback being pushed back is because of the driveway goes up and it goes straight in front of the 4 existing houses. So we need to push the house back for load outs. Load out is when semi trucks come to get your chickens out of the house, or you put chickens in the house. So we need the room for that. I've spoken with all the neighbors, Miss Porterfield, Miss Eastco, Mr. Brooks, and Miss Carey, who has the solar panels beside me. And everybody is good, and Miss Carey, I believe, y'all should have a copy or send a copy where she wrote a letter stating everything. She was fine with it.
She is the offended property owner. Potentially, she's the one that would be offended.
Yes. She would be the offended. But no, everything, in terms of, site plans, just makes sense to put the house here, and like I said, everybody around has been good with it, so.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else speak in favor of this rezone request?
Todd Gurley again. Yeah, I'm with the integrator, also in the county, but I'm for it. It's an existing farm, 4 houses. This will be a pullet farm. The house that's being built will just raise males only, so it's only 7,000 birds a house for each flock, so twice a year. So the impact's not gonna be much of anything, and like the only thing behind it is solar panels. I don't see anybody building a house on top of the solar panels.
So what's the necessity of the placement from y'all, from your perspective? What's the necessity of the house placement like it's proposed to?
What do you mean?
So as opposed to having it even with from the other houses?
We require a loadout area of a certain distance. I mean, we want 100 foot, but we will go 50 foot just to give them more room. So if we set it back, it gives us more loadout. from when we're catching the chickens.
So essentially, moving that house back creates that load-out area without shifting the driveway.
Yes, sir, correct.
Which would be a pretty big project.
All right, anyone else to speak in favor of?
Gary Harlan, Gomer, Georgia. Yeah, I think Mr. Martin will have a significant grading impact from what he's told me about fixing that. Let me just go back to Brookhaven when it became a city and we had a bunch of old houses and a bunch of new houses out there.
You gotta go quick.
Yeah, average area setbacks, average setbacks off existing houses, some sort of a legacy zoning here for existing operations. Gentleman earlier spoke about Oglethorpe County having ridiculous restrictions, but guess what? They actually have a second set of regulations for legacy zoning for existing operations to work underneath. So, and it also gives flexibility for existing operations to have the ability to expand. So when I say to figure something out, let's figure something out where we don't necessarily have this, come up and maybe we could get reductions that are just 10% of a legacy setback versus a 300-foot setback asking for 50% reductions. Thank you.
You need to mention that to Stephanie, you know.
She won't listen to me, sir. He is our neighbor, but he's in District 2. We won't hold that against him, so.
Anyone in here to speak opposition of? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board, then I entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that this variance request be approved as presented. I would like to state my reasons in discussion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Adams. Discussion, gentlemen.
When I look at our, what I call our checklist for hardship, 11.2.3D, and I didn't mention this in the other one, but it's just the same thing, would not cause substantial detriment to the public good. And we don't specifically say this, but I always look to the offended property owner. And if the offended property owner does not have a problem with it, then it eases my heartburn with it. If you look at the site plan, all of the 4 existing houses already are inside of it, are already encroached. This would be slightly greater encroachment than those, so we do not create a new situation and we avoid the extra cost of construction that would be required to move the driveway.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Doster.
No.
Yes.
Yes. No.
Yes.
All right, motion carries 3-2. Thank you. Item number 13, sir.
Yeah, man, 13, I'm sorry. All right, item number 13. Cody and Kerry Thurman is requesting a variance to allow to be built one postal house that cannot meet the 300-foot setback requirements. The property line with deficit amount of 6.65 feet, 229.64 and 272.44, and it cannot meet the 400-foot setback requirements in surrounding dwelling with a 105.21 deficit. The property is located on Zero Moon Gas Road in Coffin in District 4. Mr. Harvey came forth and spoke in favor. No one came forth in opposition. The difference between this one and all the rest of the variants is this was an existing house that he wants to be replaced. The new house will have an extension, but even at that, there will be the setbacks, the violation that already occurred now will not increase. It will be the same as before, because it's just going to be long. So the planning and zoning voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Thurman, are you comfortable with that, or would you like to come forward?
I only got 40 or 45 minutes worth.
I might change my vote.
I'm pretty complimented, just like I mentioned the other night.
The only difference in any of this is this literally means the difference in us going bankrupt or continuing in business, because we've got nowhere else on our property anywhere that we can meet anything at all. It's right there or nowhere. That's pretty much all I got. That's the only difference.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone else here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Come ahead.
One more point, if I can make that while I got you all here.
Well, I think you've done this.
On these existing houses where we have a fire, we have something like that, I think I mentioned to Mr. Chandler about, for these guys coming back through variance issues on an existing footprint, if maybe there's an expansion of less than 10 to 15% of the footprint, maybe not having to put these guys through this where they can continue on and stay in business, but just a thought for the future. Sounds like y'all got a lot to think about.
It used to be a provision for that in the ordinance, for whatever reason it got removed.
Well, I know we have a few more coming up, and I'm sure the integrators are probably gonna want them to modernize and expand, and they're gonna end up having to go through this process where if we had a different code, it may just ease y'all's volume of cases coming through here too.
Yep. Integrators or lobbyists?
Integrated. I'm gonna lobby because I want chickens and cows in my area for the rest of my life.
Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? All right, so, hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve.
Have a motion to approve by Commissioner Kurtz, second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen?
I'm gonna support this one. I know I've made some opposite votes on that, but I think this is some of the conditions that were placed. I remember, like Miss Ann a few years back, over on near Moon Grove Road, had one burn. Yeah, Miss Cisco, I'm sorry. Yeah. And so for existing operations, and I think this is different. With an existing structure being rehabilitated, I do look forward to our ag agent, kind of reporting on some of these things, and if we need to make some amendments to some existing operations and those type of motions and considerations, that I look forward to that discussion in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Just note that it didn't really matter, the extent of the request on this one is greater than by a good bit than anything we looked at this point. In that 120.
Yeah, 100% is greater than all of them, but it's probably the most justified one of all of them because there's no choice without that. So anyway, I don't need to say that. I asked for a motion. I can't even remember, boys. I'm tired. All right, I got my motion. I got my second. Yeah, never mind. Commissioner Kirk, Commissioner Adams. Any other discussion? Hearing none, it's actually on you, Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Consistency on things.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Whole business. Consider amending the zoning ordinance section 7.10 PUD zoning district. Gentlemen, I'm gonna apologize up front that we did not get this on the last meeting. Completely slipped mine and Christina's mind at the time that we put that agenda out, because we had stated in the meeting prior that it would be on that, and that is on me.
The Board of Commissioners did hold a public hearing on March the 30th, and they had discussed some changes, after what was sent to planning and zoning, and some concerns that come from planning and zoning. So those changes were sent to Mr. Pruitt, and we drafted and made those changes. But we did hold our public hearing on March 30th, to postpone to April 27th, and it did not make it to the agenda. My fault.
All right. So I'll entertain a motion.
Chairman, I'd like a motion this time, we do not amend the zoning ordinance for third zoning district.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler.
I'll state my reason here, discussion, or anybody interested.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler. Have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Doster. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Planned unit development requires planning, and we need a planner. And I do have some thoughts about that.
Perfect. The action's on you, Commissioner Chairman.
Yes to not amend.
So we'll just deny.
Deny. Okay.
Yes to deny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
All right. Motion carries to deny. New business. Consider approving amendments to the county sewer rates and tap fees. Just so you know, you've been back with that donkey by now.
Well, they called me and said that they got in bigger than I thought, so I'm kind of nervous.
That's an inside joke. Her dad was going to pick up a donkey. Worried about being back by it. Here you are.
Here we go.
All right. Tell us what we got here.
Okay, which one are we on first?
It didn't, I think I got it, okay, it's not scanned.
Okay. Oh, do they have a copy?
They do have a copy, but you have to they have that as well.
All right, so these are kind of two different things here. One is the tap fee that we're looking at for sewer. I am requesting that we would, I guess the board would adopt these as is. I do think that they're in line, hard to compare to other cities, but if you look at other counties, they're in line. Especially if you think about, for instance, the RV park that's coming to Hull, what their fee would be if you look at, you know, if they had to do several 3/4-inch taps, or whatever, they're doing a larger 6-inch tap, or even if septic had to go there. Obviously, sewer is more expensive than water, so I do think that these are in line with where we should be. And on this paper, you're just looking at the top part, not the per 1,000 rate. I am requesting that we adjust those, but just the tap fees at the top.
So the rate study, I know you're talking about the tap fees, but it's going to end up being in one motion.
Okay.
So the sewer rates is part of this line item, and what it was we got to looking into our sewer rates, and unbeknownst to us as to why it was done that way, whenever it was done that way, but the sewer rates were wrong. So I've asked Stephanie to look into it and come back with some corrected figures, which she did.
And then there's two different options on the paper with a green header that says sewer rate. Underneath option 1 and 2, you can see the projected revenue increase. And as you'll see, we have 15 sewer customers.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
We don't have many, but I do think that this is important in preparation for what the Docksboro area is going to bring, that we go ahead and adjust these instead of reacting. We already have a plan in place.
So gentlemen, if there's no discussion, I would entertain a motion on this item, item number 6.
So the motion needs to identify option 1 or option 2 on sewer rate.
Oh, sorry.
And also consider adopting the tap fee, based on meter size that is presented.
What is your recommendation on option 1 or option 2, please?
I would recommend option 1.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve option 1 on the rates and the sewer tap fee rates on the secondary sheet and the wastewater surcharges, as appropriate on the third sheet.
Motion by Commissioner Doster. Do I have a second? Second. Commissioner Mayo, no. At the same time. That's what I said. Any discussion on this, Joe?
Thank you for your work.
Yep.
Do you, in your billing stuff, are we adjusting, let's say, what this discussion kind of, are we billing, and here again, focusing on the Docksboro area there, as we get more customers online, and I'll become our friends in Athens, Park County, your sewer bill is 50% of your water bill.
No. It's 1.5 times water rates. Sewer rates are 1.5 times water rates.
And that wasn't the case, so last year I brought before the board the water rate increase, but we had not increased sewer rates. So this is to bring those back up to where they need to be.
That's what
That's correct.
saying,
Mhm.
that
That's right.
if you get a water bill for $200, your sewer bill is $100 fee for that. Is typically what we say. Now, where's your sewer tap fees in this?
They're right here on the first page that you have. So those are the ones that I do feel like we're in line. I don't think that we need to change those. It's on a page that looks like this.
Mr. Yarber, y'all's are, City of Comers is 1.5 times water rates.
No, this is the rate.
Yes.
Yeah,
For- this
where's
is
the
tap.
sewer tap fee?
That's what these
Okay.
are.
Second page.
So the 3/4 inch, for a 3/4 inch water meter, your sewer tap fee is $4,500.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, so I have a motion second. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none.
Yes.
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 Thank you, Stephanie, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, so item number 7, we're gonna strike that just, for tonight. But item number 8, I have to go, ask you to go with me on this if you can. Item number 8, the City of Comer is,
Can I back up a minute?
okay, please do.
I know we've been here a long time. We've been here a very long time today. So before we skip number 7, during our research for drafting a contract with the City of Comer, we realized that our City of Danielsville IGA is still the IDBA. So if y'all remember, we went through with Mr. Pruitt, and as we took, the BOC took those over, we updated those IGAs. So looking for one thing, we of course find something else. So with the City of Danielsville, there's more conversation we need to have with their board about the rates, because we're buying, selling at different rates to each other. So we're trying to figure that out before we bring that to you. What we've determined with the City of Comer is we would like to do a sale agreement with them, because of the USDA project and how we're connecting the county water with the city of Comer Water for fire redundancy. So that's where we're at with them. We're asking, the verbiage on here is, we thought we were gonna have an agreement, drafted for you tonight, and internally there was just some miscommunication, so that didn't happen. We apologize. So what we would like is to ask the board to vote on the county moving forward with drafting an IGA with the intention to sell water to the City of Comer. We asked that because the City of Comer, for them to move forward, they've got some insurance requirements on some things that they need to do, so that way they can have some kind of formal motion from this board, so that can translate on their end for them. It's the best way I know how to cleanly sum that up.
What's the setback on that?
Just say yes.
Deny.
Thank you. So we need,
I know we're tired.
we need that contractor that say so for EPD, excuse me, to add that to our permits. Another water source.
And essentially tonight, what we'll be approving is a memorandum of understanding or a letter of intent.
Non-binding letter of intent is the best you could do.
That's right.
Yeah, yes.
We're actually gonna revisit most all of them, probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks, to make adjustments in the dollar figures, so.
I don't need a number figure, I just need to show that you're saying you're gonna sell water to me, and if you want to buy water from me, you could. But right now, it's, I have the ability to purchase water, your legal water source, yeah, that's all.
So we just need a motion for a non-binding letter of intent.
Perfect.
Yeah, non-binding being a key, because obviously price is an essential term of the contract, and we don't have that yet.
So,
Thank you, Mike.
so is that a motion?
I need a motion, sorry, sir.
I make a motion that we provide a non-binding letter of intent to the City of Comer for the future provision of water as needed. Second motion.
perfectly said. I got a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Knight.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
No, we're going to revisit all of them. And I'll just be honest with you guys, we found that, nothing wrong, nothing nefarious, but we've got some verbiage that we gotta clean up. And we honestly think it's gonna serve all of our cities and our county well, believe it or not. So we'll do all that in one fell swoop, but that'll be coming probably in about a month.
That's my fault, I put the cart before the horse.
I'll take that ownership, it's my fault. Number 9, urgent matters. Number 10, executive session to discuss real estate acquisition, personal matters, potential litigations.
Not just no.
I thought you were gonna say not right now. Sorry. My famous words, Commissioner Dawson.
Motion to adjourn.
What's that?
Hey, buddy, I looked back to the 2 hours.
Yeah, take that, buddy. Take that.